Evtol Weekly, episode 14, race. 7 days after Liberation Day, we have massive news. It's why we're here, through the good times, through the bad times. 7 days after Liberation Day, Trump has decided he's put in a pause on the majority of the tariffs for the countries. Welcome, race. How's your week been?
It's been a hell of a week. I think it's not just for obviously the whole stock industry where we've had the ups and downs, but just for the channel as well. I think we've had a lot happen this week. And do you know what? Not what better time to celebrate than today. And do you know what? With the stock market turning around just before we came on stream, I think that keeps up with the tradition that it rallies 10% around the Hustle Brother streams. So yeah, massive.
Yeah.
What about you? How's your week been going?
So I want to apologize to any of the guys that were expecting the Evtol Weekly last week. We've just had a wild 2 weeks. Would I explain a little bit about what's been happening over the last 2 weeks? So
I think so. I think we need to give them a bit of background.
So as you know, we crossed the 2,000 subscriber mark. We done a plea to the creators of Rocket Lab Weekly, telling them that it was the reason we basically made our channel. So over the last 2 weeks, we've now been invited to join Rocket Lab Weekly. We're in quite good discussions with Christopher Bell. Anyone that doesn't know Christopher Bell, he is the specialist when it comes to haste and everything about haste. Christopher is one of the researchers for that Rocket Lab team. He works very closely with Matt Money and Scott O. So I don't know how much I can say about it, but at the moment we have the Hustle Brothers, Christopher Bell, Scott O lined up for a new sort of weekly live stream. Then we're in quite nice discussions with a few different businesses at the moment. The one that's furthest along is Vertical Aerospace. Vertical Aerospace now follow us on X, and we are having quite positive conversations regarding an interview with them. So I would be very, very, very confident to get that off of the line pretty soon. And it kind of lines up with what we're going to start doing now. We've agreed that we're going to start covering a bit more Vertical Aerospace, because between me and Reese, I think between the whole community, we've been focusing massively on Archer and Joby. And as this industry starts playing out, we need to start considering some of the other players in this game. Yeah. We had the news about EHang, which we'll discuss. There's a good bit of news around EHang. Have I missed out on anything, Race?
No. I think you covered most of it there. Yeah, there's a bit of bad news about EHang as well, I guess. But yeah, I think starting off on Trump's tariffs. For those of you who don't know, he's decided to pause it for 90 days. And I'd like to say that he's done that of his own will, but there's a little part of me that thinks he's sort of been forced into submission. What's your thoughts on it, Liam?
Yeah, I'm in two ways. He got very close to putting the country into a recession. Number one, he said the bonds were looking too beautiful, his words were. I'm in two minds about it. I think when the glory wears off all of us and we realize what has actually happened, I think people will start sitting down and actually thinking, yes, it's good. However, it's kicked the can down the road for 90 days. And I know a few streamers are saying that he won't go back in with them. However, it could be the fact that he's protecting the country, but he's more or less telling the likes of the EU that if you don't come up with a trade deal with us, we will. We've done it before. We will put tariffs on you. I think China the reason he's kept it with China, they're more or less on the naughty step now because they retaliated against Trump. He's not backing down on it. And I think that kind of leads us into a bit with EHang. So guys, please let me know, is anyone here actually invested in EHang? And be honest with us, have you invested in EHang? Because we have some bad news about EHang, but we also have some really bullish news about EHang. So in regards to EHang, they're a Chinese-based company. And Trump has more or less said if these tariffs don't work, they're going to start pulling Chinese stocks from the US stock exchange. That is detrimental to a company like EHang. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, 100%. Basically losing anything that's outside of the Chinese market. And once they're taken off that the US stock exchange, I would think, especially after they've just seen that great bit of PR that we seen last week with iShow Speed, which YouTube weren't too happy with. But we're here to show the content anyway. But I think just after that, where you might got a slight bit of exposure into the American market, because I think it would only be us and the guys here that are interested in this Evtol space that would probably know anything about EHang. But they finally got some exposure, and within the same week, they've ended up being pulled or potentially pulled. Yep. So I think they can feel quite hard done by because they haven't really done anything wrong. But I agree with you. I think it is a lot to do with negotiation tactics, and he's basically bought another 90 days.
Yeah. Cole, no EHang shares here. Cole, how's your day been?
How's it going, Cole? Glad to see you
back.
back.
You're heavily invested in Archer, 16% rally. Did you manage to buy any shares on that dip? It kind of brings me into, we've seen an awful lot. Like I'm quite interested in like human psychology and that. And it's going around X. And I think I said it to you when we were recording one of our pre-recorded videos. And I was like, isn't it funny that everyone says buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip? But there's no way everyone is buying the dip, because if everyone was buying the dip, there would be no dip.
Yeah.
And these same people that are prophets and they think, no, I'll wait. Look, they got stung badly today. They got left missing that opportunity. Now, are we completely... I don't want to say we're completely out of the water. We might be out of the water for, I'd say, 60 days. But when the realization starts coming back in that we could potentially be going back into tariff mode, we could be back where we started.
It could be in the video and just up and down. But
I want to bring it back to EHang. So again, during the pre-recorded video, I've turned to Reese and I'm like, never have I ever thought that I would be doing a video on iShow Speed. I remember I was laying down there and my little brother came in to me and he goes, have your flying car stocks gone up? And I was like, no. But it was one of those, he is like 20 and he really isn't interested in the stock market or whatever. So I thought, what is he on about? He goes, iShow Speed flew in one. And I was like, I thought it was going to be one of those like either AI things or was it going to be like a hovercraft or something like that, yeah? And he goes, no, one of the Chinese ones. It flew into the air. It must have went up 50 feet. And I was like, what? So I look it up on EHang. I remember ringing you straight away. Have you seen EHang has done a flight? I want to know people's thoughts on this. We had an awful lot of people in the comments say that they're no competition to Joby and Archer. I completely disagree. I think once they make the 4-seater Evtol, yes, what is their aircraft called again? The 214?
X, yeah, the 1 minute, give me it.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that is particularly any competition to Archer and Joby, and it's a different use case. But they can use this technology to make their 4-seater, and yes, I do think their 4-seater would be competition to Archer and Joby. And as I said, this 2-seater can now generate them revenue in China, and yes, we're saying they can't, and they're not looking to enter the market until 2030, 2032 into the US market. But like, I think people are overestimating how quick Archer and Joby can get
Yeah.
all this infrastructure made and all these aircrafts out. I actually think they'll be entering at a time where Joby and Archer are still building. And if they already have all this revenue and backing, they could just come in and just take them by storm.
Yeah, no, there is the possibility. I like to think of it though as there's enough room for everyone to eat at this moment in time. Just because it is in the infancy and everyone sort of builds their own, chooses their own towns and stuff like that, or their own cities more like, and sort of develops it like that. And obviously some places will be in better demand than others. Like in the UK for Joby, I think that will be a big one. I know hustle and bustle, and people are willing to spend pretty much anything when you look at London prices. And I think that needs to be factored in because we obviously want to be getting most bang for our buck. But yeah, in terms of the actual use case in EHang, it's very difficult to sort of get that same feeling because they aren't a US stock. And like the thing is that we're British, like we're from England and Ireland, but I don't know, I just have a different allegiance, maybe, let's say, or
Like,
I find it very different.
America's like one of your own sort of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, especially because like you can obviously listen to all of the interviews and we can hear the earnings, and all their posts will be all in English and everything like that. So we've obviously got that closer bond. But as we were saying on the stream, I'm really impressed with their PR. And as the guys know, we wax lyrical about we think PR is the way forward in order to get these eVTOLs over the, like, just to get them out onto the consumers and make sure everybody wants to get on board and feels safe and there's that demand. Because like it's one thing building it, but then you've got to make sure people want to get on it as well.
I think a really interesting thing too is I just find it's not only the eVTOL community, it's the Rocket Lab community, it's the Palantir community, NVIDIA community. We go and give some good news about EHang, and it's like people can't commend them on doing something well. It's like, no, but they are no good. No, I wouldn't do it. And it's like, oh, they're too low. Like, look, they've done something that the others haven't done yet. Can we just stand up and clap for them?
It's a bit like football clubs, isn't it? Like people are like picking a team and then they don't like their rivals to do well. They're like, no, that's not right. That was probably AI. That only probably went 30 foot in the air. And you're like, sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and say like, oh, good game, well played.
Another thing. I think we need to hold our hands up in this. And during the excitement, we may have said that Bag of Holding never said they could fly. So, okay, number one, we hold our hands up. You did say they can't fly for 5 miles for 200 pounds. However, I still disagree. I still believe Archer and Joby will be able to fly 5 miles with 200 pounds in it.
100%.
But I did see you wanted us to retract that statement. So, perfectly, you got me to do it.
Should we catch up with the chat?
Yeah, so Cole got more at 620. Deployed pretty much the last of my cash on it. And well done, mate.
That was because I was about to bring out a video on if Archer being below $7 would be like an absolute steal. And I had it pretty much ready. I wanted to have a look at it after this, and I've checked the market today and it's already out of date. But yeah, great price to get it in at Cole. Like very, very near the bottom, wasn't it? Last week.
The bottom would have more or less been 613 or so. Yeah, so great. Like, I'm a little bit frustrated with myself that I didn't deploy more. Here's me coming on saying like people buy the dip. I am frustrated I didn't buy more. I got caught in my pants down, to be fair. I done quite a nice trade on Rocket Lab. You know what? Yeah. We say that we're level-headed in that. However, I done this trade on Rocket Lab, and I had Reese Rang within like 2 hours. Being like, who is Warren Buffett? The turnaround on it was amazing. But look, you win some, you lose some. I added a little bit more Archer, but I could have added more. Didn't add any Joby on this dip, which I'm disappointed I didn't. And a 1. Mate, why did I not add more Tesla?
Well, I remember before the tariffs, we were discussing Tesla, and then after it, we obviously seen a plummet, and Tesla's like that stock's gonna like jump up and down anyway, so I wouldn't be too worried. At some point, it'll come back, but I do like just keep adding all of these little pieces here and there. But it's very difficult because you do look at your portfolio sometimes and you see all of the red, and as I said many times before, I've had to delete the app, then I re-download the app, then I'll delete it again. But like, especially on them red days, I can't. It just gives me that sick feeling in my stomach, and
you can't have it.
Yeah, and that's what I keep saying about when we do get back to the top, because we will. It's a big cycle. It ebbs and flows. But when we do get back to the top this time, this has got to be the time I take the 20% off and I keep it for these rainy days, because I would have loved to have added.
You have all heard Reese say this now. Yeah, he is literally letting it hang and put it on the line. If he does not take the 20% now, I think we need to hold him accountable.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I need that. I do think I need that, because you're right. You're riding that wave up, aren't you? And it's very difficult then to tail off.
I think, we need someone here as a guarantor that will be like, once the 20% hits, this guy says, Reese, look, it's up 20%. You need to sell now. Cole, do you want to be that guy? Literally, when we go up 20% from the all-time high, call it out to Reese, and he needs to take 20%.
That's it. Yeah.
We have Dylan Rogers. Hey all, I'll be listening for a few and checking on the replay if my young one goes long. Dylan, it's great to always have you here. Thank you so much for the constant support. Dylan, throughout massive pullbacks like we've had, it's nice just to have someone like Dylan to like talk a little bit of sense about Archer and Joby, and don't have that like fear coming in. Dylan always has a level head, and I really enjoy our chat. So thank you so much, Dylan. We still need to. I know I keep saying this, but we really need to organize time where you can sort of teach us how to do option trade. I'm to learning the option trade. Like, look, I think we've been open and honest with the guys from the start that we don't know how to do option trading. So if it's something the guys would be interested in, look, Dylan's going teaching it to us anyway. So if you want us to live stream it so you can learn along too, it's not going to be financial advice. And Dylan is just going to be teaching us exactly what he knows. He's not claiming to be a specialist, so I don't want anyone coming after Dylan and saying, I've lost this, lost that. We are fully aware that Dylan's applying his knowledge, and out of goodwill, he's going helping us learn.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Dan, Phil, I didn't buy any Evtol shares. I bought some Berkshire. You know what?
That was the room.
Wouldn't have been a bad one. How much are they up at the moment?
Because that was the rumor, wasn't it? That it was that Berkshire sold out, and that's what started this all.
Berkshire up 5%, and like they don't move like that.
That's serious.
Buy, mate. That was incredible buy.
It seems like it was a good day all around for everyone. You can tell that the spirits must be a high.
I wonder, is anyone down today? Because I even looked at EHang, and EHang was up 1%. Like, I'd say even Virgin Galactic is up. I don't even have them on this. Everything I can see is up. Let me know if you're down today, because that'd be quite disappointing. I was asleep until 30 minutes ago. Phil, whereabouts do you live? Is it the US? It's actually so wild that we have people from all over the world. It's like we're doing this. We're trying to get this live stream on the way with the Haste Club. So it'll be Rocket Lab's Haste side. So there's the main Rocket Lab weekly, which we've been invited on, which I actually can't believe. Do you know, I can be a little bit shocked being on there, do you know, talking to the guys. I think it'll be the first time you see the Hosser brothers actually a little bit nervous. Like,
I think it's crazy to be like, you watch someone, and then now to be like invited on is well, and for it to be so quick, like it's been within the year, isn't it? So
me and Reese were saying this too. Like, I took a step back yesterday and sort of had a look, and I'm like, everything just seems to be happening this last 2 weeks. Like, we've been invited on Rocket Lab Weekly. We passed to 2,000. We're getting opportunities with different people. Christopher Bell came to us and said, like, would we mind doing one of these and starting it with him? And then we have Scott O involved, which I actually can't wait to collab with Scott O because his charts are
there's a lot to learn there.
So there's an awful lot to learn there. I wouldn't mind doing like a little sub live stream with just Scott on his own. Where he can more or less teach us about his charts and about the financials and stuff like that of different companies, just to like sharpen up that side of our game. And again, if that's something people want, I can reach out to Scott. I'm sure he'd be more than happy because he is a wizard.
He'd be another feather to our bow anyway.
Then shout out to the second best Evtol channel on the web. Vaz shouted us out on Martin Lucas Investor, which that's quite nice because he's quite a big following in there. Then Vertical Aerospace. When I seen that, it was when they followed me back, and I was like, do you know, this is definitely like one of those trolls.
Somebody's made like a fake account.
And then I went into it, and I was like, Reese, they only follow 200 people, and we're one of them. I was like, mate, like, how far have we come? But I honestly think it is pure output. It's just being there every day for everyone. Look, it's raw emotion. You've seen all different sides to us. You've seen when Archer rallied, and we're telling you, look, we told you it's going to $20. We told you. We've seen pull back. You've seen us absolutely capitulate during the Joby live stream.
And then even more so in the Archer one, where there was an absolute frenzy in the comments.
Oh yeah,
that was a scene. I've never seen it go, and that was such a like microcosm of what it must be like for the broader market, where people were just creating fear amongst themselves, and the stock was plummeting because of it. I guess bringing it back to that vertical aerospace, I think we've got we're going to have a few videos that come out just to sort of catch the guys up on vertical aerospace.
I just want to pause right there. I actually forgot about another thing. So Cole has just said, if Archer has an investor days, would you guys go? And that would be quite interesting. So I have two things to say there. The interesting thing about vertical aerospace is it's UK based, so we could quite easily get there. If Archer have an investor day, and we have a good relationship with Archer, and look, we'd have an interview or something like that, 100% we'd be there. But another thing, we've also been invited to Neutron's launch, to live stream the Neutron launch. Are we going to go? I don't know, because it's a very, very expensive trip for them to then push back the launch or like miss the window. So it's just so risky for us. Like, me and Reese work full time. Yeah. The difference with an investor day, we know it's happening that day. So like we can fly in, we can do the investor day, we can fly out. But if we go to Neutron, say even we blocked a week for the launch, and then they scrub the launch.
And there is murmurs, isn't there, about the launch being pushed back and stuff like that. So like, but it would be if that was the first launch. Can you imagine?
Oh, mate,
that's the problem. That is the
top would be off and the t-shirt be swinging around, bro.
But
create an OF then.
yeah, the Hustle Prophets OF. Oh, geez, get a few more than 2,000 subscribers then.
Yeah. Then do you know what? We'll take a step back from the Evtol and we'll just go full-time OF, yeah?
That's it, yeah. My name will be Big Reese.
Would have been nice for the guy in the EHang to not have a face like he's head down a 300-foot roller coaster at 100 miles an hour long, just smile and enjoy the ride. Do you know what? I think it is a bit of IShowSpeed's personality, yeah. Look, I'm not going to pretend I love the guy because, to be fair, he does irritate me a bit. Like IShowSpeed, I wouldn't watch him. I think he's not our generation, but I know.
Yeah. Very over dramatized.
Yeah, I'd say the early 20s, late teens. It's that sort of era.
Yeah,
and they love that dramatization. This pure
over exaggerating. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You know what it is? If anyone here knows Mr. Beast, he'd be on that same sort of like era that people are mad into him. Maybe Mr. Beast a little bit younger demographic, but yeah, it was just a mad one because he's big into like football and stuff like that. So the fact that he went on an EHang,
I think he does streams and goes around countries and just does like random things on his stream. But the fact that he done it, I think go tip your hat to EHang. Like, fair play, well done, lads. Like, move on to the next one. And I hope Archer and Joby, because I know they will be, we see that they watch each other. I'm hoping that they're looking and taking note and thinking like, oh, that was quite a good play. Like, who can we sign up? Because I think that is going to be the way forward. And they may be waiting for that part certification before delving that far into it and starting outlaying costs that you don't need to. But very interesting.
So then, Andrew Rose has about 27k in Archer. Now, did you have the 27k before? Like, it's good either way. But did you have the 27k before this run up, or have you added, because you didn't add in a pullback, did you deploy the 27k on the all-time high, or have you just slowly been adding? It'd be interesting to know, but no, well done. That is a nice position in it. Do you know who? A guy that'll be over the moon today, but I think he is an incredibly long-term investor, is WHP.
Yeah, 1 billion%.
My God. Remember when we were doing that video the last day about the $1 trillion industry?
Yeah.
And like how much you'd make and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we sat back and we were like, WHP, like, oh my God. Like,
you'd be like a billionaire.
We won't only be sitting on an island, we'll be sitting on WHP's island. Like.
Yeah.
So then, hi everyone. We're missing 4 likes. New Blade. Do you know what, New Blade? New Blade actually.
He's always there backing us, yeah.
He done something really big for us. So, do you know how we had the Archer and Joby community on X, and then they were both growing?
Yeah.
New Blade actually said, why don't you, because the industry is growing and we actually don't know who the biggest players are. And like, look, we're going to start talking about vertical aerospace and stuff like that. And then it kind of made me think, look, some people are only Archer, some people are only Joby, some are only EHang, etc. However, most of the people here, I'd say, dabble between the two. So he said, why don't you call it Evtol Investors? So we have changed the name to Evtol Investors on X. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop that into the comments. If anyone hasn't joined, we have a free community on X where you can more or less share your thoughts if you get any information at all. And just, look, have a bit of fun with it. I'm trying to grow it. We have 101 in it at the moment. And look, you never know when you could get talking to the likes of Joby, Archer. Look, we now have Vertical Aerospace following us. Yes, they're nowhere near as big in Joby and Archer at the moment, but they could be. So
exactly. And we always like an underdog story.
Green Days, you can come back to this, God. That actually made me laugh. Do you know what? You do actually notice, yeah? Some people are only active when they're up, and they're giving it large as well when like their position is in the green. And to be fair, New Blade is there every single day through the good days and the bad days. New Blade is always there. So look, he does have a point. Green Days, you can come back. The Hustle Brothers need a PR check from Joby, as you all do more PR for Joby than the company itself. Do you know what? Yeah, me and Reese actually said that. We were like, imagine doing PR for these guys. But then it makes you then take a step back, and then you're like, you don't want to be accused of like trying to pump a stock either.
That's like some sort of knowing insider information or something like that. Yeah. If we come back and start talking about it in a live stream, and then we're getting investigated, and all we're doing is just talk about a few stocks.
I really think that's why we always just need to maintain that level-headed approach. Look, we have said from day one that we're not the biggest fans of EHang. Reese done that investigation into EHang, and from then I just think we have a chip on our shoulder about it. But at the same time, I can't help but tilt my hat to them when they perform. And that's why I'll never negatively say something about a company if they do well. If they do well, hats off to them.
That's because I've got a similar approach to that, but like it's sort of like I think the high tide, I think the high tide like sort of rises all boats in terms of once one or two of these eVTOL companies are getting through their part certification, it will help raise the valuations for every company because there will just become a little bit more investor confidence in the market.
So I can see Phil there, can't find your X page. So our X page is called the Hustle Bros YT. For some reason, we created a Hustle Brothers one, but then the two of us couldn't sign in on it. So we had to recreate it, but we had already taken the name. So it's Hustle Brothers YT. What I'll do, I can share it with you here if you want. Do you know what I'll do? When Reese starts talking next, I'll share it in here. We have Colef. You need to be on Joby's payroll. I wouldn't mind being on Joby's payroll, but I don't think they'd be too happy with us going to Archer's investor conference. Do you know what? Yeah, it did make me think. Imagine Joby or Archer. Before I say this, everyone, do not think I am getting ahead of myself and I think they're going to invite me and race. But it did make me think with I Show Speed. Do you know if Joby and Archer invited you to fly on the S4?
Yeah.
Or the Midnight? Would you be confident live streaming it like X did?
Yeah. And I do the same faces as well, just for Dylan. I'd be confident. I think that'd be.
But you know what? I'll be the cameraman on the ground because there's no way I would play.
You wouldn't.
No way. My God, if I was the first guy to fly in it, the first creator to fly in it, no.
Did you not see?
I think I'd want to get my bearings first.
Did you not see Joby just pass? What was it? 40,000 hours flight time.
That's wild. To be fair,
that's what I mean. So like, it's not like this is just out of the blue. It's not like you're the first hour. Like, there's been so much rigorous.
You got to think like, I am over 200 pounds.
Okay, and the distance would be over 5 miles.
So like,
what about if I told you it was 4.5 miles? Would you feel more confident?
4.5 miles from the diet, yeah, 100%. I would be.
yeah. And
because it's just straight facts.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
it's quite easy to move anything under that distance.
EHang is the leader, like it or not. To be fair, look, I kind of agree with the guys that they're a different product at the moment than Joby and Archer, and they're not focusing on the US. So we're looking at different measurements, but you can't take it away. When it comes to like flight, I know that they probably are further ahead. However, it's a different product. So look, it's a bit like a motorbike and a car. It's hard to say. Just be careful. We should see some take profits or Trump try another grift. And that did make me think. So anytime there's a massive day like this, normally it follows with a little bit of a correction.
Yeah, 100%.
I just hope that the correction's not a massive correction, because the likes of Joby and Archer are going to be the first to take the hit. The S&P will want to consolidate and stabilize at this level. However, it could go on the flip, and the money has entered all the S&P, and then we could start seeing more money enter the likes of Archer and Joby. Because if you think the S&P the S&P rallied 9%, like that does not.
I was going to say, no, not only, but that means that there's a lot of people that, well, I don't know, but I would be saying it can't go much higher. It could be famous last words, but 9%, I think that's as good as you're going to get, probably.
But the thing is, that is like your returns in a year if you're in the S&P. So it wouldn't surprise me if people were in the S&P, they bought in today, and now all of a sudden they sell tomorrow, and then go into one of the smaller caps.
Yeah,
but that'd be dumb money. That'd be a dumb money move. But it wouldn't surprise me. Does it happen? And I honestly believe the majority of me and Reese actually said this as well. Oh, everyone, absolutely everyone around the likes of X, YouTube, whatever, I think they try and let on they know more than they actually know. Or they pick out their biggest specialists, or they know more about a stock than they do. Or look, unless you see, and they're the first to criticize the likes of Warren Buffett, Cathie Wood, and all this, and it's a bit like, well, if you were that great, why aren't you there? I think sometimes we need to take a step back and sort of think, you're never as smart as you think you are. And when you start telling people what to do, just make sure you're 100% perfect yourself. Because what I find mad interesting, say like this happens today, we're getting all the people now, I told you so, I said I'd buy the dip. But then you also get people saying, look, I dumped 100,000 today at the bottom, and I made this much and whatever. And most of it's pure beat.
That's 100%.
You need to be able to filter through. I always think when I hear a story
that sounds too good to be
tell me something that, look, minus off a little bit. If something's really bad, it's never as bad as people are making out. And if something's really good, it's never as good as they're making out, because you're going to have people reckon they bought right at the bottom and they put the house on it and now they're a multi-millionaire, but they'll be living the same way they've always lived. So, it swings and roundabouts. That's one of my rants for the day. Buy the dip. I like it.
I think the last week has showed us it's like we say, always buy on red days. Because we had a whole week there that you could have bought, and by this point now, this week, you'd have been laughing.
Always buy on red days. And the prophet that said it didn't buy Tesla on the red day.
It's because he hasn't got his red background anymore to...
Yeah.
He traded it for an office.
Tesla is the least impacted by tariffs, and they're executing whatever happens. I need to get into Tesla. I keep saying it, yeah, but anytime I have capital,
You go into the
do you know what it is, yeah? I've been adding an Archer and Joby, and then I'm like, no, I can't be neglecting my Rocket Lab. And then remember I went through that phase with Uber and Nvidia.
Yeah. And
So
you're sort of stuck now.
I'm going to be honest with you now. I'm completely out of Uber, and I'm stuck with Nvidia at an average of 134. But like,
And what is it? What is
amount
it?
of capital locked in Nvidia that I cannot touch.
What is it today?
115, I think, last time I looked, and it had
Jesus.
rallied like
Oh, yeah, it's
massive.
gone up 20%. Bloody
Yeah.
hell. What was it last week?
Or
I haven't really been paying
there was
too
one
much
day
attention
it went down to like 86 or something. Or was
since
that
they
2
split.
days ago?
I haven't been as involved with Nvidia, because I imagine they must have been affected by them tariffs as well. Or did Taiwan get? I might have seen that Taiwan got a break on it.
Yeah, when the celebrity went down, up and down 20 foot in EHang, I was less than impressed. His demeanor, the fact that the Evtol did almost nothing. Look, I do believe it could have done a little bit more than up and down, but we got to think too is the insurance on this would have been mad. Like, this is not only a 0 error rate, but you're also carrying someone that's on the level of, I don't know, one of your American footballers, if not like one of your best American footballers. Like, he is massive, this guy. So,
And the lawsuit that would have came from that, it might have sent the company under.
yeah.
Like all that money for the research and development gone straight away.
I gave you the channels for all on Discord. You did. So Dylan is a star. Love my man. But you know what? I think we all.
Yeah, I think we can all hear it. Yeah. 100%.
I actually think we need to have a Dylan appreciation live stream at some point, because the amount he does for this channel is like.
And yeah, the unsung hero.
USA. Oh, you're from USA, Georgia. What time is it over there at the moment? Do you know, it's mad interesting.
It's
like
crazy,
over here, it's 10:15 at night.
10:15, yeah.
Do you know what? I don't mind where we are when it comes to time, because the market for us opens at 2:30 in the afternoon, yeah? But
Which
really,
is,
I hope my work aren't watching this. But I get my work done. Like, I smash through it in the morning, yeah? So then I have like an easy enough afternoon, yeah? So I can have like the markets up and the second laptop there, whatever, yeah? You watch me, I'll have no job tomorrow.
This is allegedly. This is Liam's friend.
Yeah. My little brother does this. So yeah, have the markets then. It gets me through the end of the day. Then you can sort of, do you know how you sort of get that midday? No, not today. But normally you get like this midday sort of lull in the market where nothing really happens. And then like we're home, we're relaxing and stuff like that. We're about to make a video by the end of the market. And that's why then I try and drop a video about an hour after the market closes. So I actually do quite like where we sit in time zone.
I think so. There is sometimes you are waiting just to see that market open, but you don't really mind too much because it's in the afternoon. It's not first thing like it would be for you guys over there. And then you'd be, in, you wouldn't be able to push your work, do all your work in the first hour, and then have to hit the rest of the day.
Do you know what? Imagine being a full-time like analyst or something like that. That must be so frustrating, because most of them can only invest in the likes of like index funds.
Oh yeah.
And imagine like you're looking at the likes of Archer and Joby, and you sort of like you have this. Do you know it'd frustrate me?
No, I think their life far too stressful. I don't think I could deal with that.
Nah.
Some long hours as well.
So then, what you have to go? Oh, is this to the Archer Investor Day or is this to Neutron's launch?
I think that might have been
Archer Investor Day, I would be very, very interested in.
Depends, yeah, where and when, basically.
Yeah. However, I wouldn't want to go to an Investor Day and me and you be sitting beside each other and then we flew all that way and just come home. I would want an interview to go that kind of distance and like spend that much money to get two of us across.
Yeah.
And that's not being greedy, but it's just like, how much would a flight be from Dublin to America?
I think as well, if it wasn't to like one of the major cities, you'd probably have to transfer and go back. I guess we can see it.
It could cost us $3,000 to $4,000.
Yeah, including flights,
each
accommodation,
stuff like that. Yeah.
A few beers.
A few beers have to be had.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? When we get to 5,000 before the 17th, is it the 17th of September? On that day, we're having a beer on the live stream. I don't care.
100%, yeah. And we don't encourage it, but everyone else can have a beer as well.
Yeah. This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
They have delivered aircraft to the Air Force, and they are very vertically integrated. That being said, it's hard to say anything that I think it's EHang is actually in the lead, in my opinion. It's hard to say that EHang are in the lead.
No, I think just in the PR, literally on the one like slice of the pie would just be the PR because they got speed. That's their
yeah.
The rest of it, I think, I wouldn't be too. And similar to what Cole was saying, it did just go up and then back down. So at the moment, we haven't seen its full capabilities, but obviously it's good stuff.
I think Archer needs to get the bots into gear. I love the content you guys deliver. Have we put something out lately, Reese? Because the amount of people that are actually commenting that they love our content lately, I actually can't thank you guys enough for it. No. Andrew Rose, I really appreciate that. And you know what? It kind of makes you just want to keep doing it more and more because
100%.
It's just that appreciation that, like,
and it just shows that there's more like us out there.
Yeah,
we're no longer the black sheep of the community.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I can honestly say, I think we've said it many times before, that when we started this channel, we were like, surely there's other people like us. Surely, like, and that was the frustrating thing, yeah? It was like coming to the bottom of a very large cliff and looking up and seeing the likes of Dotto, Dave G, Matt Money, Vince. And I'm going to say it to you guys again. Watch some of our first videos. It's quite cringy to watch now, yeah?
I mean, it's quite funny to watch at this point now.
It's funny, yeah.
Like the quality, the camera, like
everything.
the cuts of the video,
the cuts. Oh, because you know what it is? When you first start off, you're not that confident speaking on camera. And what we used to do, look, I have no problem in saying this. What we used to do, you'd write down what you're gonna say or whatever, yeah, and you'd stick it up to the top and by the camera, and you start reading it. And you know what? What changed this channel is when we started doing the live streams, and we're like, do you know what? It's not actually that bad. And then we started going, but instead of writing it down, just say it as it comes to your head.
Yeah.
And whether you pause, you stop, whatever. Look, does it really matter? And at the end of the day, we are here for our journey. So we want to show you can, if you want to do a channel on baking, if you want to do a channel on eVTOLs, I welcome you to come. If you want to do a channel, because I think we need more creators. I said this to the Rocket Lab guys. I just think we need more and more creators in the Rocket Lab space to grow it out. And I think we need more creators in the eVTOL space to grow it out. Because at the end of the day, me and Reese try as hard as we can to get as much information as we can out. But we're always going to miss something, or we won't have time because we're not full time. We don't always have time to be there like straight away. We'll try and get it out, but if me and Reese are tied up, we can't get it out. But say there was another creator there, they can do it. And Vaz is doing quite a good job at the moment of pulling that up. So I commend Vaz on that. I still think he's the second best eVTOL channel there is.
Yeah.
And if someone else comes in, he'll probably be the third best. But I created something new there, Vaz. See that one?
I completely agree. In
like the more heads we have here and saying their own opinion, like I think it's absolutely great. Like I said, Dylan Rogers constantly sharing his thoughts, sharing his research and that. And we just need more people like that too. That it's different perspectives. And what we really do, we try and tie in all the information we get from everyone and put it together for the average retail investor like ourselves to understand. But I do think we need more eVTOL creators in this space. So if anyone wants to be an eVTOL creator and you want help to get going, no problem at all. Just ping us on X and
100%. I'm very much in agreement with that. I think we've thrown our net out, and there's only a certain amount of people that we will be able to be exposed to. But I think there's plenty more of us eVTOL investors out there. And if this is going to become $1 trillion industry over the next 10, 15 years, you're going to see this become a huge space. And that's what we're going to need, because as we've said many a time on here, the next thing after the part certification that will be a major problem will be the consumer adoption, where we need people to feel like safe and comfortable getting on these eVTOLs. And the only way they'll do that is if they've seen content, if they've seen people go on it. And that's the next big step I can see. Like if you're looking down the line, and we're not just looking at like one step at a time.
And like, I do think too, like, I think it was a lot at the start. Well, it felt like it was a lot at the start, because when you first start creating content, you do get people like, you're not going to last, or stuff like that. Yeah.
You can't speak. You're not looking at the camera.
I got told I had a raspy voice. I got told how many times I got told people can't understand me. Like that actually, that was the one that did get to my head. Everything, like people have said everything. They said I have a unibrow. They've said, remember when I shaved the head? That was the worst haircut you could ever get. We've had it all, yeah. So nothing surprised us, but the one that, I don't know, it stuck in my head, and the one that did get me was like, we can't understand you, you don't speak properly, you have a raspy voice, yeah. I don't know why that got in my head, and I was like, do you know what? I actually got to the stage where I was like, maybe...
You're speaking different.
No, but I was thinking, I honestly, hand on heart, I was getting to the stage, I was like, why don't I just help with the production? Reese does the talking, and then like I'll do all the like background stuff and all that. And
do you think that it was that they thought you were Morgan Freeman, and that's why they thought you had that raspy voice, that sort of...
That's what I think it must have been. Like they must have
obviously seen you and thought it was Morgan Freeman, and then that's when they said, oh, it's the raspy voice. That's what, like, they just put the two and two together.
The best thing was, look, I've stopped mentioning them, but I gotta mention it this one time. We used to put a load of stuff up for Reddit, and that, oh mate, one thing I'd advise any creator at the start is do not put nothing up on Reddit, because you are being fed to the wolves.
It builds character though. You build a lot of character on it.
It toughens your skin. Like, you'll come out with like skin 10
You'll
times
see
thicker,
YouTube comments and you're just.
But he's the head of the page. We actually have. I'm not going to name him out now because we do actually have quite a good relationship with him. But we had a topsy-turvy relationship with this guy. And mate, if you're listening, I'm still banned. But to be fair, I don't care. I'm not entering that arena again.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But this guy used to say the reason we can't put content up on it is because we're AI generated. You can see you jumping all over the place. And I was like, I wouldn't know how to create an AI video if I tried.
And if I was going to create one, like, I wouldn't just put me in front of it and like,
yeah,
me in front of
like,
the camera.
to be fair, if you're going to create an AI video,
it'd be like the Avengers or something, wouldn't it? You'd be.
well, like, I'd 100% have a six-pack and I'd be sitting there on the beach, like, and all this. It wouldn't be me with a red wool at the background and you with a white wool. It was insane. Liam, why don't you look like a Smurf yet? Do you know what? My hair is growing, to be fair. To be fair, I do think it is long enough now to dye blue. So, will I do it for next Evtol Weekly? Potentially. I want to shave the sides again, but yeah. Yeah, I could dye it blue. If you want me to dye it blue, let me know. Oh my god, we have missed a mad amount. So, Joby needs you guys on the payroll. We've seen that. To be fair, I'm trading nearly every day. I hate missing a swing, especially in a day like today, when there is 2K free money. Do you know what, New Blade? You're actually quite accurate with your charts too. I've been following them. And to be fair, you are spot on quite a nice amount of the time. So I reckon you made a right killing today. If you're over 200 pounds, then Big Race must be 400 pounds. And that's just Big Race. How much flight time does Archer have? I'm actually not sure. I can find that out for you if you want. If anyone knows, please.
Yeah, put it down in the comments.
Need a special Evtol for race. That's over 1,600 days in a year. Should I keep sharing my TA on Discord, or am I spamming too much? I'm trying to get the discussions, but I feel lonely. New Blade, never stop. Honestly, I think your insight is amazing, and please keep going. Do you know what? Keep spamming the X community too, because if you do feel lonely, I do believe that will grow quicker than the Discord. 5 p.m. for Keenan. Call is 5 p.m. 5:50. So the Neutron launch. They want us to go to the Neutron launch.
I'd love nothing more.
I would love nothing more, to be fair. It genuinely. I think we need to
just
see
at the moment there is like a slight. Say that again.
I think we need to see where the channel is at that stage. Like, at the moment, we need to establish ourselves in the Rocket Lab space.
My camera's standing there. I have no idea.
Are you frozen again?
Yeah, back? my wife is playing up again. Don't know what's happening to me.
So, yeah, Neutron. I think we just need to get a bigger place in the Rocket Lab. Like, at the moment, I think everyone is getting very excited that we're entering all these spaces at the moment, and I just think we need to establish ourselves in them before we fully, hands down, say we'll go to a Neutron launch look, the Rocket Lab community might reject us. We haven't been on a Rocket Lab weekly yet, so like, people might not like us though.
Yeah, we don't know.
100%. But I want people to appreciate our content. I like our content enough for us to then make a decision like that to go and see Nuke. Like, imagine going and all that, see Nuke on, and sitting, and there's 23 people that have watched our stream that are on Evtol Weekly, and that is not appreciating you guys. But I am sorry, but we're not like spending close to 10k to then not see a launch, and 23 people show up and watch us cry.
I'd need them to be very that. It was definitely going to be launching. I think the way that it's at the moment, launching. There's a lot of murmurs that's going to get pushed back as well.
It's not worth it to go invest a day from Europe unless you do a trip in the US at the same time. Now that could be another interesting one. We could try and tie in a few different like things. We were going to like invest a day with like Archer Aviation.
Well, I'm going to try and disconnect them.
Yeah, 100%. I'll keep talking it. You're underestimating the Chinese. They're making revenue already. Internal competition makes them innovate faster than US companies. CBYD, XPeng, Xiaomi rise as Tesla competitors. Now, my BYD, I seen it getting massive over here, and it did make me think. Do we think, though, Chinese companies sometimes can be a bit of a fad, and we think they're as good as US companies until US companies hit the afterburners, and then we'll see the likes of Tesla rise? And that's my kind of thing at the moment, is EHang seems to be a hot topic at the moment, but when Archer and Joby do hit the afterburners, is EHang going to keep the pace? Because it feels like, I have to be very careful what I say here, but it feels like sometimes US companies create something and then some of these Chinese companies copy. And that would be my only thing with that. We can make your old videos a drinking game. Every time you say or take a shot. Oh, mate, imagine watching back a roll.
Yeah, you'd be absolutely trolleyed. even in a 3-minute video.
And then remember we went through that stage where we just wanted to get a load of like different topics out. So because at the start you need to think. Have we completely frozen there?
Oh, it looks like I'm the last one. And Big Reese is back. I think we've seen here from Cole. From Philza. You back? No.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, it seems like both our internets are playing up.
I genuinely thought it ended the stream, not gonna lie. Well, what was I saying there? I can't even remember what I was saying.
Lost track there.
So, Phil, my man, that's the way. Como SU7 out of nowhere. I'm sure we'll see a Midnight Killer out there in blue at some point. Potentially.
There's a long way to catch up, though.
If Liam was AI generated, he would 100% made himself a set. 100%. Don't get me wrong, guys, but you're thinking like people 10 to 15 years ago about China. You need to improve your due diligence. I'm still up to have a chat if you want. I'm saying 100%. If you want to have a chat with us and inform us a little bit more, yeah, definitely do. I think what it is we get news over here that can be heavily manipulated by people's opinions on China versus the US. And I think sometimes, yes, it isn't fair, but we're more or less reiterating what we believe as retail investors about it. So I am completely happy if we're wrong in our approach or anything we've said about it. I'm 100% want to educate us on it. I'm more than willing to hold my hands up and say we were wrong. Right. It's been a good stream.
Yes,
Same time next week.
100.
Thank you so much for coming, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we will see you again for Evtol Weekly episode 15. All right, peace out.